What's up? What's good? Matt Clark here at the new Matt Clark. How are each and every one of you doing on this amazing Saturday? I'm doing great. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. I hope each and every one of you are doing great despite the times that we're going through. Like, let's be honest, but it is 2022. Let's hope that it's a better year for all of us. This is my first live of the year, and I just want to shout out everybody and say I hope that your New Year's went good, your holidays went good, and you started off 2022 in a positive mindset, because that's what I'm looking for. Ricky boys, hold on. The light's messing me up here. Hold on. Give me 1 sec. Hopefully that'll work. All right. So what's up, everybody? Mitch, what's up? Ricky boys, what's up? Fishing Up a Storm, what's up? Dan Flanagan. No sex offenders. Now, if you're in the federal system, it's different, because unless you're in maximum security, it's an integrated system. So you don't know who really you're doing time with. So, but no. If I was the victim of sexual assault, why would I allow somebody who sexually assaults somebody to live there? You understand? Does that make sense, Dan Flanagan? Josh Hildebrand, what up, man? What are you saying? Happy New Year, brother. So, as I was saying, 2021 was a difficult year for everybody, right? It doesn't really matter who you are, where you're from. It was a difficult year, I can almost guarantee, unless you're filthy rich. But even still, I think you would have probably had a difficult year. Let's be honest, socializing anyways. So I just hope that this year we can all win and everybody has a more positive and uplifting year. Someone in GP was looking at a pool of kids and was ex-RCMP. I don't get it. Drew Illman. Yo, Matt, hope you're doing good. Keep up the good work. You already know, Drew. Big snow coming Monday. How much snow, though? I heard that snow's coming, but I haven't seen much snow this year at all. So hopefully there's a little bit. T-Dot, what up, my brother? How you doing? 6 Ontario Adventures, what's up? Good evening. A foot, eh? Mine. Vikas, what up, man? What are you saying? Winnipeg, 3 years, Stony Mountain. You already know. Shout out to Winnipeg. Fishing Up a Storm. Divorce is final. I'm selling the house to the ex, so the grandkids always have a house to go for their holidays, and in case they need a place to stay, buying a house in the sticks on the lake. You already know. Paul, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you, brother. Yeah, so, I don't know what you guys want to talk about, but I saw this crazy story, man. I'm telling you, it broke my heart. It was in Chicago, and there was a pregnant woman, and she was shot 30 times. 30 times. Blew my mind, man. Well, I don't know what the hell's going on out there in these streets, but that's crazy. Like, that's supposed to be like a no-no. And I know sometimes people violate and make people upset or whatever, but I don't understand, man. That's something that I don't understand. Mafia in prison. What's that look like? I don't know. I guess you would say it would look like you would expect it to look like, I never did time with a whole bunch of mafia guys, but I definitely did do some time with mafia guys. And those mafia guys definitely act like mafia guys. Fishing Up a Storm, man. Salute. Take back control of your life. That's amazing. Derek Williams, what's good, man? Hope all is well with you too, my brother. Shout out, free up the man them, eh? Derek? That's good for Cali, man. Can you speak on explain cascading security classification in prison in Canada? So, yeah, I can try. So basically, the system in the federal system is a point system, a score of 30. And there's depending on a whole bunch of things that come into play, like your institutional record, your addiction, uh, level of violence, all these things, how you were brought up, all these things play a factor in creating your score. And when they create that score, that decides on where you go and do your time. So if you are a 26 or above, that is a maximum security classification in the federal system. And that pretty much means that you will have to go do some time in max first and not get into any problems and earn your way down. And basically, you're probably going to have a security reclassification every 6 months to a year, depending on how lazy your PO is. And, that would depend on how quickly you could get out of there. Now, if you're a lifer in Canada, you automatically go to max for 2 years. That's automatic. If you get an L at the end of your sentence, and the only way for you to get out of max is to earn your way out. So if you stay up in all the politics and the BS, you're going to do a whole lot of time in max and high medium of your life bit. So eventually, after you do time, they will run security hearings for you. Basically, like, you're not going to be there, but your PO is going to, run your behavior and, what you've accomplished in a certain amount of time. They're going to take everything into consideration, and they're going to rescore your classification. And if it gets under that 26, then you're going to go to a medium security. And I don't know if I think medium security is 16 to 26. Now, depending on where you fall in that scale, might be the difference whether you go to Collins Bay or you go to Fembrook or you go to Workworth. But it doesn't always matter, because if you're involved in gang problems or STG or anything like that, then you definitely are going to be positioned in a prison with people and with gangs that you get along with more so than you don't. And they're going to do that to try to control the institutional violence. And I feel like it actually works fairly well in the federal system, except in the provincial system, when you're STG, it's not really fair to these guys. Of course they're in jail, but we're all in jail. So they shouldn't be treated worse in jail because of the neighborhood they're from. I don't feel that's fair or that's right. And it can actually play a huge role in deciding if guys get parole, if guys' security gets dropped, where they're able to do their time, if they're ever going to get to camp. And it could just, be about your neighborhood. It could really just be about that. So basically, though, I feel like most guys are going to land in the medium range when you first hit the federal system, unless you're a nonviolent first-time offender, never really been in the system. Maybe you're on some fraud charges or some, minor, major drug charges, but you've never been in a fight in the system or anything like that. Then you might luck out and get to camp. But most guys land in that medium range because it's hard to stay out of the crap when you're locked up. It's hard to stay out of it. You understand? So most guys that are doing time are going to have some kind of an institutional record. So most guys will start in medium, and some guys will get to camp in 6 months, and some guys will never get to camp. I did all my time in medium, so that's a lot of federal time. I did 7 years alone in Joyceville. Never got offered a chance to go to camp, despite the fact that all my escapes were when I was a kid. I was literally 15 and 16 years old. Yeah, man, I'm on a bail at the moment and going away 5 to 7 years. Well, hopefully the best circumstance happens there, Derek. Is Bath a PC treatment prison, or is it a regular population prison? It's not technically a PC prison, but if you try to get to Bath, They're not going to let you go there. You know, it's one of those prisons where if guys have a lot of problems, have issues, have mental health problems, just a lot of things they need to be kept away. Not necessarily even be because they're PC, but they can't be in that environment. That's what Bath is for, And then there's guys that do run there, they run up a bunch of debts in other prisons and put in a transfer, check in, and go to Bath. Hold on a sec here. Anyways, do you have urges to go back to the street life? I wouldn't say I have urges. No. I feel like over the years of doing all the time that I did, I started having a lot of resentment to the people that were from my past, like my friends. I feel like I never heard from anybody. If we're doing all the things that we're doing, why am I not hearing from any of you? If I'm your friend, so it was easy for me to just say, you know what, I'm gonna move past it. I'm gonna keep it moving from these people, and it's been the best thing for me, man. I haven't been in anything at all. I'm not helping. Hold on. My nephew is going down, caught stealing, grand theft, and conspiracy. He's crossing the line, so I hope the feds don't take the case or he's screwed. I help what I can, but if you don't stop partying, I'm not helping him. I have to learn the hard way. Yeah, it is what it is. You can only enable somebody so much. At some point, you got to be able to live your own life, and make your own big boy decisions and live with the consequences. Is it a good idea to be around someone who is criminally active? Example, I pick them up for lunch and we get pulled over and they have drugs, etc. Can you get in trouble? You can definitely get in trouble. It depends on how solid your friend is. If you get pulled over, is your friend going to own up to everything that is his in that vehicle? Or is he going to be quiet and then you're both going to have to do time? That's something you have to decide when it comes to the people you're rolling with. I have someone I want to support, but I don't want to get myself caught up in anything. Yeah, so you can support them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. But at the end of the day, you got to also make your own decisions, John, thank you. Appreciate that. At the end of the day, people can still be really good people who break the law and be really good friends, right? That is facts, but are they your friend? Is this someone that isn't going to make you go down for something that's theirs? And that's a mistake I've made, man. I had a friend who was my friend most of my life, from when I was a teenager anyways, and left me hanging, threw me under the bus. Now, he didn't snitch on me. That's not what he did, but he didn't man up and take his own charges. And because of that, I had to sit down for like 8 months. And I went through that whole stretch where buddy got murdered on my block. And it was just unnecessary for me to be going through that when this person could have just owned up. So at the end of the day, that's a decision you have to make. Is there one thing you miss about the criminal lifestyle? No. I guess not worrying about money, but at the end of the day, I don't particularly worry about money anyways, but I do a little bit, that's life. Does Prisoners Justice Day exist Canada-wide? Yes, 100%. Now, not every prison is going to smash people out if they don't, eat on that day, or if they eat on that day. But it just depends. It depends. But there's always going to be somebody who feels a way about it, and it's going to voice their opinion if they see it. What's the craziest stuff you've seen on Made to Eat in prison? Seen some vids of these guys making taffy and candy and stuff. So in Canada, like we get a much more diverse commissary, I feel like. Like here we can buy like chicken breasts and burgers and all this stuff. Basically everything I see in those videos is like pickles and tuna and bagged chicken. Here we can get all like it's not the best stuff, it's like box stuff, but it's still like a step up, right? And you can buy like rice and sauces and you can make like the real stuff in a most places, you know. You don't have to like cut corners like that. Sean Parcham, how the hell are you? Who's that? This is a 16. Oh yeah, that's a little different, you know. Just tell him, you know, if you're gonna spend time with him, then he's got to have nothing going on, you know. That's your rules. Nothing on you, you know. You got to go out of town to chill because of problems, and he doesn't feel comfortable, you know, maybe not having something on him or whatever. Then you got to do that. How common is it to run into dangerous offenders in jail? There's always one or two in every jail, at least. So it's fairly common. They're no different than any other con for the most part, unless you're talking about like the top of the top crazy serial killers and, you know, stuff like that. To be honest, I was in New South on Lakeshore. Is like gangland in there, lots of lockdowns, the guards pick sides and act hard. Went to try to cook people and I got jacked up from behind the walls by an op inmate. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Behind courts, I was hungry. I got tuna. I seen Buddy get a cook with on his yeah. No, Toronto is gangland, bro. If you're doing time in Toronto, you have to be ready to fight, brother. You know, if you want any kind of respect, doesn't mean you're necessarily going to have to fight, but you got to have that energy like you're prepared to. Do you think that the guy who sent body parts around is going to get out of Quebec Max to medium? I don't know. You mean what's his name? He's in one of my videos, biggest goofs. What's his name? Luca Magnotta, right? I don't know if he'll ever get out. I don't think so. What's worse, being labeled a bird or a goof? It depends on who you are. You know, I'd say either is bad. If somebody's screaming that out to you inside prison, either of them is bad. But I'd definitely say goof is like the worst because most people take the most offense to that. Now it depends though. Like, are you trying to pick a fight with somebody from Jamaica or the islands? Because then there's things that you could say that are also a lot more. It just depends. I was nervous when I got shifted to Penetang. Pure white boys. This white dude tried to stay at shower, so we all jumped him. Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty funny when somebody just refuses to take a shower. Like when you're in prison, you feel like that's like the one part of the day that you're like, you know. But there's like guys that literally will fight not to have to take a shower. It's crazy to me. I don't get it. It's a dirty environment. You don't get a whole lot of clothes, you know? Chad, that's amazing. I have no idea, Sam G. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. When a case gets withdrawn and you are inside for parole breach on the charge, will you be freed? Now it depends. So maybe you beat the criminal charge, but they feel like it's still a breach worthy offense. So say maybe you and a buddy get charged and you know you say your buddy hugs the charges, right? And you freeze you up. All the charges for you get dropped. Doesn't matter because there's still going to be the association. You get what I'm saying? So it just depends on the whole situation as a whole. And, they're going to really go around and look for every opportunity to not give your parole back. Honestly, Mitch, I don't have interviews lined up because I haven't been on IG. It's been like well over a month since I've been on there. And honestly, I've been loving it. I'm not a social media guy. I don't like it. But I definitely am going to get back on there. I definitely do have people that want to be interviewed and that I would like to interview. So we will eventually get back on there and get back at that. Why is Alberta the best place in Canada? I have no idea. Why don't you tell me, brother? I heard prison rape is more common out west, like in BC and Alberta. I have no idea what happens out there. But I know here, like in Ontario, the prison population is fairly, what's it called? Homophobic. You know what I mean? I saw a guy literally almost get poked up because somebody saw him doing something with somebody out in the yard. And he literally almost got killed for it. No, I know you're trolling Northside. I had a buddy that jumped prisoner's box in court in front of judge and everything. He got away, never heard from ever since he was caught 3 days later. Not worth it, really. Yeah, suspicion of being suspicious or deteriorating attitude. That's another big one. I don't really talk about specific groups on my channel there, John. But I definitely say that it will change, but I've never been there. So I can't tell you specifically who runs what. But I think over the years that the prison has been open, which is not J Unit now, it would be Collins Bay, but before when it was J Unit, I'd say that changed over the 40 years, But I definitely feel like those boys had their run and have their run, There's a handful of blocks that you hear about all the time, right? That's just what it is. I don't want to talk about, politics on my channel because I know people from all sides and I just, I don't want to get involved in all that. That's hilarious. I don't know, Paul. Yeah. I'm not a fan, so you're not offending me. He's like a frat boy Betamail. I was on range, buddy was hugging the phone, so they stabbed him with the pencil, and he was paying rent. It's the way she goes. Have you heard of the provincial jails running a 2-tier solitary confinement? Guys aren't going to SIU directly, and they are still running solitary confinement when they aren't allowed to. It's not that they're not allowed to. It's 15 days. So you can go to solitary confinement for 15 days, but after that, they have to let you out. And there are still circumstances where they don't care. Believe me, they don't care what the rules or the law said. They'll break it and just not give you a phone. You know what I mean? That's all they'll do. Yeah, federal. Is there no provincial rules for SEG? I think there is, though. I don't know if they're rules, though. I think they're like guidelines, which I think is different. I think that's I don't know about this country, man. Like, it's impossible to find out anything. Every single thing when it comes to information on prisons in Canada It's all government run information, and it's impossible to get your hands on. Believe me, I've looked for like prison murder stories and stuff. I know when there was murders, you can't find it. You understand what I'm saying? It's all covered. Where, here? Damn, son. I would never pay that for a zip. Never. From what I've read, the feds came in with solitary rules. Yes, the feds, 100%. Guys are saying they're being placed in old school solitary confinement. I feel though they have gotten rid of it completely and replaced it with SIU. Oh no, like, okay, so yeah. So there's two different kinds, because even if you're in Lindsay, they'll have like a range that's seg, right? Where you have a celly, and then they have the upstairs 8-pod seg, right? That's real seg. Now in the federal system, when you go to seg, it's not really the same thing, because like within 24 hours now you get your TV and stuff. Like it's not the same as being in seg and provincial, loss of all privileges, which is crazy. They don't even do that in the pen. How common is it for lifers to get parole on their first shot? I feel like it's common, but not really common. You know, I feel like it depends on how well they do during their time, what they accomplish. Did they stand still? Are they the same person? Or have they done everything they can to improve their life? And I think that's what will determine. I don't think anybody expects perfection, because it's a 25-year period or 20-year period or however long it is. It's impossible to go through that much prison time and not get caught up in something. So a lot of the time it will be against your own will. Like sometimes somebody might start fighting you. You don't have a choice, right? You got to do what you got to do. So I think as long as you are like in an upward trajectory, you're all right. Now I wouldn't say it's super common though, because I feel like a lot of guys that are in prison get caught up in the subculture, and they're using, and they think they can skate the line, and they want to smoke. And then, they're doing visits and they get caught up in something like that. And then they go back in security, and you see a lot of that. It's hard, man. When you're locked up in prison that long, it's hard to just keep your nose clean and stay out of everything for, say, 25 years. How? Like, you got to live, right? You got to live. The wagons from Finch Court to South in summer's hot as hell. Yeah, oh yeah, all wagons. That's crazy, Chad. Sorry to hear that. No, I know what you're saying. Hold on. I'll tell you. Yeah, it was kind of like that. So basically, I was floating. Like, at least that's what I felt like was happening. And I feel like I should have been scared, but I wasn't. And there was like a royal blue head. It would almost look like a dragon head. But to me, the body wasn't dragon like, it was snake like. And it was coming in like slithering in. But the funny thing is, it didn't look friendly, but I felt love. You understand? Can I explain long term? Mitch, you have a good weekend too. Can you explain long-term offender status? So long-term offender, basically, I hope I get this right. So say you get a 10-year sentence plus 10-year long-term offender. So that means the day your parole finishes, the day your sentence is done, you begin a 10-year probationary period, but it's like more like parole. Now, anytime if you get caught up at any time of that 10-year period and you go in back or you get arrested, you go back in, you have to earn your way back out, and then you start again. I think that's how it is. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's like an intermittent sentence. It's not the same as dangerous offender though. It's a 10-year it's a 10-year here. Let me hold on. Let me Google that right now. So, uh, uh, Canadian long-term offender status. So a long-term offender order subjects an offender to supervision by Corrections Canada for a period of up to 10 years. The purpose of the long-term offender order is to protect society from the threat of the offender that the offender currently poses, and to do so without the resort of blunt instrumentation of indeterminate detention. So yeah, anything more than 2 years and you can get that. So it's basically just like an extended parole. And that sucks. You know? 19 years old, man. In the prime of your life. Matt, for Prime Minister, justice system. Appreciate you. No, I don't want to be Prime Minister. Fuck that. You have to shoot me in my face before I want to do that. It's a job you can't win at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it takes different kind of animals, different kind of people to have that kind of authority and that kind of power and not take advantage of it. And that's why it's so difficult. And it's one in, however many years, but when people actually have a good leader, somebody who's not a crook. The reality is they're all crooks. They're all crooks. If you're going to work that job, you have to be somewhat of a sociopath. You have to be able to press that button, and you have to be able to take money, Like you see in the US right now, these Congress people, right? Caught up in this scandal of insider trading, right? And these people make like $200,000 a year, but their net worth is like 70, 80, 100 billion, $100 million. Like how? I don't mention any specific gangs on my channel, but you see all gangs in prison. I don't know French, no. What did you do for work? Was it difficult to find employment? I work in construction with heavy equipment, and no, it wasn't hard for me, but I got lucky, It kind of landed in front of me, and I was given the opportunity. Not the best job in the world. Like I'm not making $100,000 a year or anything, But I'm all right. I'm doing okay. Is tonight the Ngannou? Is that tonight? Is that what's going on tonight? Somebody please tell me. Oh, when's that? So what fight is tonight? Yeah. So but which fight is on tonight? if he said there's prelims are on, prelims for which fight? Or is there no fights on tonight? Cater versus Chiga. Ah, okay. Little guys, right? I still like those fights, though. I'll still check it out. But anyways, guys, I got to wrap it up, man. If you guys could please go up and hit that like button before you get out of here. Maybe I'll pop on tomorrow, maybe the day after, maybe the day after that. We'll see. You just have to wait and see. I just want to say, man, I hope each and every one of you guys start this year out on a positive note and that things go good for you. I appreciate you guys, Love each and every one of you at the new Matt Clark.